The following morning, Mira awoke to a gentle hum from the colony's atmosphere regulators. The twin suns were just rising over Nova Terra's horizon, painting the red soil in soft shades of gold and pink. Mira stretched and prepared for the day ahead. Today was different. Yesterday's water purification demonstration had shown the colonists her abilities, but she knew that true trust had not yet been earned, especially from Zara. Mira understood that patience and persistence would be required. After a light breakfast, Mira gathered her notes and tools for the next project, a community workshop on sustainable water usage. She hoped that involving more colonists directly would help them understand the importance of science, cooperation, and planning. Mira believed humans could inspire each other through action and teaching. As she walked toward the community hall, she noticed Zara standing near the entrance, arms crossed and eyes sharp. Mira slowed her pace, keeping her expression calm. She did not greet Zara immediately. Humans often needed time to overcome fear or doubt, Mira thought. Today's goal was not to force trust, but to earn it through demonstration. Inside the hall, a small group of colonists had already gathered. Mira noticed familiar faces from yesterday, including Lena and Tariq, as well as a few new colonists curious about the workshop. She smiled warmly at them. "Good morning," Mira said. "Today, we are going to explore sustainable water use. This includes understanding our sources, how to conserve water, and how to use technology to make our resources last longer. Everyone will participate, and everyone can contribute ideas." The colonists nodded. Mira set up her demonstration station, which included a small water purifier, oil samples, and containers of water from the colony's reservoirs. She explained the science behind the purification process in simple terms, ensuring that even colonists without scientific experience could understand. Zara remained at the edge of the group, watching silently. She did not participate at first. Mira noticed her hesitation and did not feel anger or impatience. Humans, she reminded herself, could learn and change when they saw evidence in kindness. Mira invited colonists to test the purifier themselves. Each person took turns adding water to the machine, observing how it separated impurities and produced clean water. Mira guided them patiently, answering questions and encouraging curiosity. Some colonists laughed as small mishaps occurred, like spilling a bit of water. But Mira's gentle corrections and humor kept everyone comfortable. "See," Mira said, pointing to the clean water flowing from the device. "This shows what we can achieve when we use knowledge and teamwork. Everyone can help protect our colony's water supply." Slowly, Zara's gaze shifted from suspicion to curiosity. She stepped closer, examining the device and Mira's explanations. Mira smiled at her without speaking. She knew trust could not be forced. It was earned through actions and consistency as the workshop continued. Mira asked colonists to divide into small teams and simulate managing a water shortage scenario. Each team had to plan how to ration water, purify contaminated water, and ensure that all colony members had access. Mira walked among the teams, offering advice, encouraging problem-solving, and highlighting creative ideas. Zara's team hesitated at first. She argued with her group members, questioning their plans and ideas. Mira approached them quietly. "Zara," she said softly, "sometimes the best solutions come from listening to others. Everyone's ideas are valuable." Zara looked at Mira, unsure how to respond. She studied the group's plan and realized they had found an efficient method to manage water distribution. Slowly, she nodded. For the first time, she allowed herself to consider that Mira's words might be true. By the afternoon, the workshop had become lively and collaborative. Colonists who had been shy at first were sharing ideas and volunteering for roles. Mira observed with pride. Humans had an extraordinary ability to come together, even when initially divided by fear or doubt. The workshop was not just about water. It was a demonstration of cooperation, problem-solving, and trust. After the workshop, Mira gathered the colonists for a reflection session. "Today we learned that challenges can be solved when we work together," she said. "Even when some of us have doubts or fears, listening and learning from each other can lead to the best results. Every person here has contributed, And every person's effort matters, Lena spoke up. Mira, your patience and guidance have made a real difference. I have learned new ways to think about water management, and I feel more confident in helping the colony. Tariq nodded. It's true. We can see the results of your work, and it makes us want to be better colonists. We can trust you through your actions, not just words. Zara remained silent. Mira approached her gently. Zara, she said, I know you have questions and concerns. That is natural. I hope you can see that my goal is to help everyone, not to cause harm. If you want, you can participate in the next phase and see how your contributions make a difference. Zara looked at Myra for a long moment. She did not speak, but she nodded slightly. Mira recognized that this was progress. Humans often change slowly, and even small gestures of openness were meaningful. The next task involved taking the purified water to the colony's storage tanks. Mira led a team of volunteers, including Zara, to the tanks. They worked together to carefully transport and distribute the water. Mira explained each step, emphasizing efficiency, safety, and teamwork. Even Zara began to participate, suggesting improvements to the transport method. Mira smiled silently, seeing the transformation in real time. By evening, the colony had received an extra supply of clean water. Mira and her volunteers returned to the hall, tired but satisfied. The colonists were beginning to see how knowledge, courage, and teamwork could improve life on Nova Terra. Mira reflected on the day's events. Humans had a remarkable capacity for growth, learning, and trust. She had faced doubt and suspicion, yet she remained patient. Allowing others to see her intentions through her actions, Zara lingered behind as the others left. Mira approached her one last time. I hope you can see that humans can rise above fear and misunderstanding, she said calmly. We can achieve great things when we work together. Zara's expression softened. I did not expect this. You have shown patience and skill. Perhaps I misjudged you. Mira nodded. We all learn, Zara. Humans grow stronger when we help each other, not when we fear one another. Zara finally smiled faintly, the tension in her shoulders easing. Mira knew that trust could take time, but this was the beginning of a real change. Humans could overcome doubt, fear, and prejudice through courage, action, consistency. As Myra returned to her habitat that night, she felt a deep sense of purpose. Nova Terra was a new world, full of challenges, but also full of potential. Humans had come here not only to survive, but to thrive, to teach, and to learn from each other. Mira knew that the future would require continued patience, collaboration, and courage. She looked out at the horizon where the twin suns cast long shadows over the colony. She thought of the workshops, the volunteers, and even Zara, who was slowly opening her mind. Mira felt hope. Humans could face misunderstanding and fear and transform it into cooperation and progress. This was the essence of what it meant to be human: curiosity, courage, and the drive to improve life for all. Mira smiled, ready for the days ahead. She had faced doubt and suspicion, and she had emerged with trust, respect, and a growing sense of unity among the colonists. Nova Terra was not just a place of survival. It was a place where humanity could shine, proving that intelligence, morality, and patience were powerful tools for building a better future. Mira stepped off the transport shuttle, onto the soft, red soil of Nova Terra. The sky above was a strange mix of purple and orange, with twin suns hanging low near the horizon. It was her first week on the colony, and everything still felt new and exciting. The buildings around her shimmered slightly, made of materials that could absorb sunlight and glow at night. Mira felt a mix of nervousness and excitement. She had traveled far to be here, leaving behind her home on Earth, to contribute to a new world. The colony was small, but busy. Humans from many different backgrounds worked together to create a place where life could thrive. Mira carried a small satchel with her personal tools, notebooks, and a tablet filled with data from her research. Today, she was not coming for work. Today, she was coming to a gathering at the community hall, a place where colonists met to share ideas, music, and sometimes to reflect quietly on their lives. Mira had heard that the gathering was open to all, but she still felt a little nervous. She did not know many people yet. As she approached the building, she noticed a few groups talking in clusters. Their voices were soft, but Myra could hear laughter and discussion floating in the air. It felt comforting. Humans, she thought, always found ways to connect, even on a planet so far from home. As Mira stepped closer, she noticed a woman standing near the entrance. The woman's name tag read Zara. Zara watched Myra carefully, her face tense and her posture rigid. Mira smiled politely and waved. Zara did not wave back. Instead, she turned slightly and whispered to someone beside her. Mira could not hear the words, but she felt the tension in the air. Mira took a deep breath and walked inside the hall. It was warm and bright, filled with natural light that filtered through transparent panels in the roof. The hall was decorated with plants and small holographic displays showing data about the colony's growth. Myra felt a sense of peace. This place was meant for learning, sharing, and connecting. She knew she belonged here, even if she was new, as she moved through the hall. Mira noticed small groups of colonists sitting on benches or standing in circles. Some were talking quietly, while others seemed to be listening to someone speak. Mira looked for a spot near the middle, where she could observe without drawing attention to herself. She wanted to understand the culture of this new world before jumping in. Suddenly, a soft hum filled the room. Mira looked up and saw drones hovering near the ceiling, monitoring the gathering. They were part of the colony's security system, always watching but never interfering unless needed. Mira smiled at the efficiency. Humans always found ways to combine safety with freedom, even on new worlds. As Mira settled into a bench, she felt someone tap her shoulder. She turned and saw Zara standing there, her eyes sharp. "Who are you?" Zara asked, her voice cold and tense. Mira smiled politely. "I am Mira. I just arrived this week. I came to join the gathering and meet other colonists." Zara narrowed her eyes. "You don't belong here. This is a private gathering. You should leave." Mira blinked. She had not expected this reaction. She tried to remain calm. "I am allowed here. The council said these gatherings are open to all colonists. I only want to listen and learn." Zara's lips pressed into a thin line. "I do not believe you. You are a stranger. You could be dangerous." Mira felt a flicker of frustration, but did not show it. Humans had always faced fear of the unknown, she reminded herself. "I understand your concern, but I come in peace. I want to contribute, not harm." Zara turned and spoke into a small device on her wrist. Mira did not know what it was, but the next moment a soft alarm beeped in the hall. The security drones paused and hovered closer, scanning the area. Mira felt a wave of anxiety, but she stayed calm. She knew panicking would not help. Some of the colonists looked around confused. "What is happening?" someone asked quietly. Zara spoke loudly now. "This colonist is not allowed here. She is trespassing. We should call the authorities." Mira realized that Zara had triggered the colony's security system to report her. She took a slow step forward. "I am not trespassing. Please check my identification. I have permission to attend these gatherings." A small drone descended, projecting a holographic scanner. Mira handed over her ID, and the drone scanned it carefully. A few moments passed, and the drone's lights turned green. Identification confirmed. "No threat detected," a soft mechanical voice announced. Mira breathed a small sigh of relief, but Zara did not relax. "I still do not trust her," Zara muttered, crossing her arms. One of the colonists, a kind woman named Lena, stepped forward. "Mira is new, but she has been working on the colony's water purification project. She is helping all of us. We should not judge her unfairly." Other colonists began nodding and murmuring in agreement. The hall's tension eased slightly. Mira smiled at Lena. "Thank you. I only want to help and learn." Zara's expression did not change. She looked like she was thinking, and Mira knew she needed to be patient. Humans often took time to understand each other, especially when fear and suspicion were involved. Mira turned her attention back to the gathering. A small group of colonists had begun sharing stories of their first days on Nova Terra. They spoke of challenges, discoveries, and small joys. Mira listened carefully, learning about the planet, the colony, the people who were making it home. As the stories continued, Mira noticed something remarkable. Even though Zara was upset and suspicious, the other colonists were showing compassion, patience, and understanding. Mira realized that humans had a unique ability to rise above fear and work together, even when someone did not trust them at first. By the time the gathering ended, Mira felt a sense of belonging. She had faced suspicion, remained calm, and had been supported by others. She knew that life on Nova Terra would not always be easy, but she also knew that humans could face challenges with courage, intelligence, and morality. As Mira walked back to her habitat, she thought about Zara. She did not feel anger or fear. Instead, she felt determination. She would continue to show through her actions that humans could be trusted, that they could contribute to a greater good, and that understanding could overcome fear. That night, Mira looked at the twin suns setting over Nova Terra. The sky glowed brightly, reflecting the colony below. Mira felt hope. Humans had come to this distant world with courage, creativity, and a sense of morality. She knew that one day, even those who doubted would see the strength and value of humanity. Mira smiled, thinking of the future. Challenges would come, but she was ready. Humans always found a way to rise, to grow, and to shine even on a new world, even when others feared them. She had arrived, and this was only the beginning of her journey on Nova Terra. The next morning, Mira woke to the soft hum of Nova Terra's artificial atmosphere systems. Her small habitat glowed with pale light reflecting off the red soil outside. She felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. Yesterday's gathering had shown her both the warmth and the suspicion of the colony. She knew that while some colonists welcomed her, others, especially Zara, still doubted her intentions. Mira spent the morning preparing for her work. She reviewed her research on water purification, its technology that could recycle and clean water more efficiently than the colony's current system. The planet's soil and occasional storms made water management critical. Mira wanted to demonstrate the value of her work not just to the council, but to every colonist. This was her chance to show that humans, even newcomers, could contribute to the common good. As she walked toward the main hall to present her ideas, Mira noticed a group of colonists gathered outside. Zara stood among them, arms crossed, watching Mira carefully. Mira felt a flicker of unease but squared her shoulders. She would not let fear or suspicion stop her. Humans had always faced challenges and doubts, and she knew courage was the key to winning trust. Inside the hall, Mira set up a small demonstration station. She had brought a portable water purifier and a few containers of the colony's contaminated water. The device hummed softly as it activated, separating impurities and producing clean, clear water in minutes. She looked around the hall, noticing colonists watching with interest. Some were skeptical, while others leaned forward, curious. Zara entered slowly, her gaze sharp. "What are you doing here?" she asked, her voice cold. Mira turned to her calmly. "I am demonstrating a method to improve our water system. It is meant to benefit the entire colony." Zara's lips pressed into a thin line. "I do not trust you. You are new, and you could be hiding something." Mira nodded slowly. "I understand your concern, but my goal is to help. You can see the results for yourself." Some of the colonists whispered among themselves. One man, Tariq, spoke up. "Let's watch before judging. If this works, it helps everyone." Zara scowled, but allowed Mira to continue. Mira began her demonstration, carefully showing how the device removed impurities and produced clean water efficiently. She explained each step simply, making sure everyone understood the process. She emphasized how this system could prevent shortages during storms or long periods without rainfall. As the demonstration progressed, Mira noticed Zara's skepticism faltering. The device worked perfectly, producing crystal clear water from the contaminated samples. Colonists who had doubted Mira's intentions began nodding and whispering approval. Mira felt a small sense of relief. This was the way humans proved themselves, not by words, but by actions. When the demonstration ended, Myra offered samples to the colonists. They tasted the water and smiled. "This is remarkable," Lena said, stepping forward. "It will make a real difference for the colony." Zara looked at the clean water but did not speak. Myra approached her slowly. "See for yourself," she said gently. "I want to help, not cause harm." Dara's eyes narrowed. I still do not know if I can trust you." Myra nodded. "Trust takes time. I will continue to show through my actions that humans can work together for the common good." The Colony Council, observing from a small balcony, nodded in approval. Myra's demonstration was not just about technology. It was about patience, understanding, and courage. She had remained calm under suspicion, presented useful knowledge, and allowed others to form their own opinions. After the demonstration, Myra invited colonists to help her test the device in the field. Several volunteers, including Tariq and Lena, joined her. Myra explained the process carefully and assigned simple tasks to each volunteer. She encouraged teamwork and shared knowledge freely. Even Zara reluctantly watched from a distance. The team traveled to a small water reservoir near the colony. The reservoir was muddy and contaminated from recent dust storms. Myra and the volunteers set up the purification device. As the machine worked, Myra explained the science behind it, showing how impurities were filtered and treated. She spoke clearly and calmly, making the process easy to understand. Colonists marveled at the transformation. Clean water flowed steadily from the device. Myra smiled as volunteers collected samples, tested the quality, and measured the efficiency. This was not just technology, it was a demonstration of human skill, intelligence, and collaboration. Zara approached cautiously. She watched silently as Myra explained the device once more. The precision, the care, and the transparency impressed her. Slowly, her expression softened, though her pride kept her from speaking aloud by the time the work was complete. The reservoir had several liters of clean water ready for use. Myra and the team returned to the colony, feeling accomplished. She noticed colonists exchanging smiles and small gestures of appreciation. Even those who had doubted her now saw her dedication and competence. That evening, Myra returned to her habitat. She reflected on the day's events. Humans could face suspicion, fear, and misunderstanding, yet they had the ability to rise above it. They could use knowledge, patience, and courage to create solutions that helped everyone. Myra knew her work was not only about water, it was about trust, unity, and showing the strength of human character. Zara, meanwhile, remained outside the hall, watching from a distance. She did not speak to Myra, but something had shifted. She had seen the results with her own eyes, and though she did not admit it, she began to question her earlier judgment. Myra had not fought back with anger. She had not demanded trust. She had simply done her work, shown her skills, and allowed others to see the truth. Later that night, Myra recorded notes on her tablet. She documented the purification process, the volunteers' reactions, and the small signs of change in Zara. Myra knew that real progress took time. Trust and understanding could not be forced. They grew slowly, like water flowing through a filter, clearing impurities along the way. As she finished her notes, Myra felt a sense of purpose. Novaterra was not just a new world, it was a place where humans could prove their resilience, intelligence, and morality. Each day, each action, each demonstration of care and courage helped build a stronger, more united colony. Myra knew she had an important role to play, and she was ready for the challenges ahead. Before sleeping, Myra looked out her habitat window at the twin suns setting once again. The red soil glowed softly, reflecting the light. She thought of the colonists who had helped her, those who had doubted her, and the ones who were still unsure. She felt hope. Humans had faced fear and prejudice for centuries, yet they had always found a way to rise above it. Myra was determined to continue that tradition on Novaterra. The next morning, she planned to begin a new project in educational program to teach all colonists about sustainable water use and the science behind purification. She wanted to include everyone, especially Zara, in the learning process. Mira knew that showing the value of humans through action, kindness, and knowledge was the strongest way to build trust. And so, Mira prepared for another day on Nova Terra, ready to face challenges, misunderstandings, and doubts. She was confident that with courage, intelligence, and patience, humans could not only survive but thrive, even on a distant planet. She had arrived to help, to teach, and to prove that humanity was capable of remarkable things, even in the face of suspicion and fear. The next morning, Mira woke to the soft golden light of Nova Terra's twin suns. The red soil of the colony reflected the sunlight, making the entire settlement glow warmly. Mira felt a sense of anticipation. Over the past days, she had begun to earn the trust of many colonists through her work with water purification and workshops, yet she knew that true understanding and harmony would require patience, persistence, and guidance. Mira began her day by preparing a new project, a collaborative program to educate colonists. It's about sustainable technology and resource management. She wanted this project to involve everyone, including those who had doubts. Like Zara, Mira believed that humans could change and grow when given the chance to learn and contribute. As Mira walked toward the community hall, noticed Zara standing near the entrance. This time, Zara did not look angry or suspicious. Instead, she seemed hesitant, unsure of her own feelings. Mira smiled and nodded politely, acknowledging Zara's presence without pressuring her. Humans often needed space to think and reflect, Mira reminded herself. Inside the hall, Mira began to set up a large interactive display. The program would allow colonists to simulate different challenges, such as water shortages, energy failures, and environmental changes. Mira wanted everyone to participate actively. Learning the value of teamwork and problem-solving, when the colonists gathered, Mira addressed them warmly. Today, we are going to work together to understand how our choices affect the colony. Everyone's ideas matter. Everyone can contribute solutions. This is a chance to see how humans, working together, can create a better future. Colonists, including Lena, Tariq, and a few new arrivals, listened attentively. Zara stayed at the back, observing quietly. Mira began the first simulation, showing how mismanagement of resources could lead to shortages and difficulties. She explained each step clearly, ensuring everyone could understand and follow along. Mira then invited colonists to form teams to manage simulated challenges. Each team was given control over different aspects of the colony, such as water, energy, and food supplies. Mira encouraged them to communicate and make decisions together. Zara's team hesitated at first. She tried to take control immediately, skeptical of the others' ideas. Mira noticed the tension and approached calmly. "Zara," she said softly, "everyone's ideas are important. Sometimes listening can help us find the best solutions." Zara looked at Mira for a moment, her pride and doubt battling inside her. Slowly she nodded and began to consider her team members' suggestions. Mira moved on to the other teams, guiding them, encouraging dialogue, and pointing out potential improvements. As the simulation progressed, Mira observed a remarkable transformation. Colonists who had been hesitant or fearful began to speak up. They shared creative solutions, collaborated effectively, and learned from mistakes. Humans, Mira thought, had a unique ability to grow and adapt when given guidance and opportunity. Zara's team, once tense and divided, began to cooperate. She listened to her teammates' ideas and offered constructive input rather than criticism. Mira noticed the change with quiet satisfaction. Trust and understanding were slowly replacing suspicion and fear. At the end of the simulation, Mira gathered all the teams together. "See what we can achieve when we work together?" she said. "Even when we face challenges or doubts, we can find solutions and support each other." Humans have a remarkable capacity to learn, adapt, and grow. Lena smiled brightly. "This has been amazing, Mira. I feel like we are stronger as a colony, and I understand more about how to use our resources wisely." Tariq nodded in agreement. "I never realized how important collaboration is. Today has shown that every person's contribution matters." Zara remained silent for a moment. Then slowly she spoke. I see now. I judged too quickly. Your patience and guidance have shown me the value of working together. I understand that humans can overcome fear and doubt when we listen and cooperate. Mira smiled warmly. That is all I hope for, Zara. Understanding and change take time, but every step forward counts. Humans have the ability to rise above suspicion and fear when we act with courage, patience, and knowledge. The colonists spent the rest of the day applying what they had learned from the simulation. They organized teams to monitor water usage, energy efficiency, and food distribution. Myra guided them, teaching skills and encouraging problem-solving. The atmosphere in the colony shifted noticeably, where there had been doubt and tension. There was now collaboration, curiosity, and mutual respect. In the afternoon, Mira took Zara aside. I'm glad you participated today, Mira said. I see that you have the potential to lead and help others learn. Zara looked uncertain but nodded. Want to try? Want to contribute? But I have been hesitant. Myra placed a hand gently on Zara's shoulder. Hesitation is natural. Learning and growth are stronger than fear. Humans can achieve so much when we support each other instead of letting doubt control us. Zara's eyes softened. Thank you, Mira. I see now that humans can do great things when we work together. As evening approached, Mira and the colonists gathered outside for a brief reflection. The twin suns were setting, casting long shadows over the colony. Mira spoke to the group. Today has been a reminder that humans can rise above fear, suspicion, and doubt. By listening, learning, and cooperating, we can build a stronger, better colony. Each of us has a role to play, and each contribution matters. Colonists nodded and smiled. The air was filled with warmth and optimism. Mira felt a deep sense of satisfaction. The day had shown that humans were not only capable of surviving on Novaterra, but of thriving. Their intelligence, morality, and willingness to work together were what made them truly strong. Later that night, Mira returned to her habitat. She recorded notes about the simulation, the colonists' reactions, and Zara's progress. Mira reflected on the transformation she had witnessed. Humans had a remarkable ability to learn from, experience to grow through understanding, and to change when guided with patience and respect. Mira looked out at the horizon where the twin suns had disappeared, leaving a sky full of soft purples and blues. She thought about the colony's future. Challenges would come, but humans could meet them with courage, intelligence, and morality. Even those who had doubted her, like Zara, were beginning to see the strength and value of collaboration. Before going to sleep, Myra made a plan for the next day. She would introduce a new project focused on long-term sustainability and innovation. This would involve designing tools and strategies to help the colony thrive even during unexpected challenges. Mira believed that humans could rise to any occasion when they worked together, and she wanted to create opportunities for everyone to contribute their ideas and skills. Mira felt hope. Humans had come to Novaterra not only to survive, but to demonstrate their unique qualities: patience, courage, curiosity, and morality. Each day, each action, and each effort to teach, guide, and collaborate strengthened the colony and proved what humans could achieve. Mira knew that even small steps of understanding could lead to lasting change. That night, Mira fell asleep with a sense of purpose. The colony was growing, trust was being rebuilt, and humans were proving once again that they could overcome fear and prejudice through knowledge, cooperation, and compassion. She was ready for the next challenge, confident that humanity's strength lay not just in survival, but in its ability to learn, inspire, and grow together. The morning on Novaterra was crisp and quiet, the twin suns casting a soft golden glow over the colony. Mira woke early, feeling both excitement and determination. Today was important. The colony faced its first real test since Mira's arrival. A series of unexpected storms had caused several water reservoirs to overflow and energy systems to become unstable. If not managed carefully, the colony could face shortages and disruptions. Myra knew this was the moment to bring everything she had taught the colonists together: teamwork, intelligence, and human courage. She quickly gathered her notes, maps, and data devices. After a brief breakfast, she made her way to the community hall. The hall was already buzzing with activity. Colonists were checking supplies, reviewing systems, and preparing for the day's challenges. Myra's presence calmed them. They trusted her judgment and guidance, and she knew their skills were ready to be tested. Zara was among the first to arrive. Mira noticed a subtle change in her demeanor. She no longer watched with suspicion, but with focus and purpose. Zara had grown through the lessons of the past days, and Mira felt satisfaction in seeing this transformation. Humans, she reflected, could change and rise above fear when given guidance, encouragement, and opportunities to contribute. Mira addressed the colony calmly. We face challenges today, but together we can overcome them. Storms have disrupted water supplies and energy distribution. We will need teamwork, planning, and quick thinking to manage this. Every person's contribution is important. Let's work together to keep our colony safe and thriving. The colonists nodded and began organizing into teams. Mira assigned roles based on each person's skills. Lena and Tariq took leadership of the water distribution team. Zara joined the energy management team, taking a position she had once avoided due to doubt and hesitation. Mira moved among the teams, offering guidance, checking systems, and helping with problem solving. The first task was to stabilize the water reservoirs. Mira led a team to the largest reservoir, where storm runoff had caused overflow. Colonists worked together to reinforce containment barriers, redirect water into temporary storage, and operate purification devices to ensure clean water remained available. Mira explained each step clearly, guiding the volunteers patiently while encouraging teamwork and communication. Meanwhile, Zara's energy team faced another challenge. Storms had damaged solar arrays, reducing the colony's energy supply. Zara initially felt pressure, but she remembered Mira's lessons about collaboration and patience. She listened to her team members' ideas, combined them with her own, and coordinated a plan to reroute energy and repair the damaged arrays. By mid-morning, the system stabilized. Zara felt pride in her ability to contribute effectively. Throughout the day, Mira observed the remarkable coordination of the colonists. Humans had an extraordinary ability to rise to challenges when guided with knowledge and encouragement. Mistakes happened, but each was corrected quickly through teamwork. Mira noticed that even those who had been shy or hesitant were actively participating, sharing ideas, and supporting one another. By afternoon, the major tasks were complete, but a new challenge arose. A smaller reservoir was at risk of overflowing, threatening nearby storage facilities. Mira quickly assembled a rapid response team, including Lena, Tariq, and Zara. They assessed the situation and developed a plan to redirect excess water safely. Mira coordinated their actions, guiding them through each step while encouraging communication and collaboration. Zara took the lead in directing the flow of water and coordinating volunteers. Mira watched with quiet satisfaction. Zara had transformed from a doubtful observer to a confident and capable leader. Mira realized that humans not only could learn skills quickly, but also could grow morally and socially when given trust and opportunity. The team worked efficiently, and by late afternoon, the immediate crisis was averted. The reservoirs were secure, energy systems were stable, and the colony had avoided any significant damage. Mira gathered all the colonists for a brief meeting outside, where the twin suns cast long shadows over the settlement. "You all have done extraordinary work today," Mira said, her voice calm and proud. "Through teamwork, intelligence, and courage, we have overcome challenges together. This is a demonstration of what humans can achieve when we trust each other, listen, and work for the common good." The colonists smiled and nodded. Lena stepped forward. "Mira, your guidance has been invaluable. You taught us to work together and to trust in each other's abilities. Today proved that we are stronger together," Tariq added. "This was not just about managing water and energy. It was about learning to cooperate, to listen, and to solve problems as a team. We owe much of this success to Myra's leadership." Zara approached Myra, her eyes bright and thoughtful. "I misjudged you at first," she said quietly. "I doubted your intentions and underestimated your patience. Today I see clearly that humans can rise above fear and doubt. We can learn, adapt, and grow together. Thank you for showing me this, Mira smiled. We all have room to learn and grow, Zara. The strength of humans is not only in knowledge or skill, but in the ability to support each other, to teach, and to improve together. Today you showed courage and leadership. That is the essence of what makes humans remarkable. The colonists spent the remainder of the day strengthening systems, sharing ideas for future improvements, and reflecting on the lessons learned. Mira encouraged them to continue learning from each other and to apply their knowledge to new challenges. The atmosphere in the colony was one of unity, respect, and optimism. As evening approached, Mira walked to a small hill overlooking the colony. The twin suns dipped below the horizon, casting a soft glow across the red terrain. Mira reflected on the journey since her arrival. She had faced suspicion, misunderstanding, and doubt. She had demonstrated her skills, patience, and courage. Slowly, humans around her had begun to trust, respect, and collaborate. Mira knew that this was what humanity was capable of, overcoming challenges, not through conflict, through intelligence, morality, and cooperation. She thought of the colonists, including Zara, Lena, and Tariq. Each had grown through the experiences of the past days. Humans had an extraordinary capacity for learning, for empathy, and for working together. Mira felt hope not just for the colony, but for humanity's future on Nova Terra. That night, Mira recorded notes on the day's events. She documented the lessons learned, the successful strategies, and the collaboration among colonists. She also noted areas for future improvement, knowing that growth was continuous. Mira understood that humans thrived not only through technology or resources, but through courage, patience, and moral action. Before sleeping, Mira gazed at the stars above Nova Terra. She felt pride in the colony's progress and hope for what lay ahead. Humans had come to this distant world to survive, but more importantly, to demonstrate their resilience, intelligence, and morality. They had faced doubt and fear, yet through guidance, cooperation, and courage, they had achieved harmony and growth. The next morning promised new projects, new discoveries, and new opportunities for the colony to learn and thrive. Mira felt ready. She knew that humans, when guided by patience, wisdom, and moral courage, could overcome challenges and create a better future, not only for themselves, but for generations to come. Nova Terra was no longer just a place of survival. It was a home where humans could demonstrate the very best of their abilities: intelligence, morality, courage, and unity. Mira smiled as she drifted to sleep, confident that the colony would continue to grow stronger, guided by the values that made humanity remarkable across worlds.